Hey everybody, welcome to Into the Night with Shawn Kelly. Sorry, no intro yet, but eventually we will get there. So, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Was everybody okay? Mine was great. Mine was kind of quiet. I actually did some cooking myself, so I cooked the whole meal. So I was like really impressed with myself. Yes, because I cooked, and I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. But you know what? I tonight's guest. Okay, last week I had Tara on. Okay, and she kept talking about this one young lady up there in Butler, PA, who has really taken her under their wing and helping Tara. Like a mentor of some sort. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'd like to get her on the show and see where she's coming from. Okay, so I got her bio here. Okay, so I'm going to be reading from my phone. Okay. Um, my guest tonight, was it Natasha, your last name? Williams?
Starver.
Okay, Natasha Star. Natasha is a practicing witch in Butler, PA. She owns and operates the Little Shop of Lilith, a metaphysical shop and healing office that centers around the occult. The shop offers many supplies, oils, tools, books, and other items for working, as well as jewelry and novelty items and houses multiple local vendors. Natasha offers services such as sessions which are a blend of life coaching, spiritual counseling, and mentorship, intuitive energy work, tarot readings, and is ordained. We're going to get to that one. At the shop, she runs 8 week. At the shop, she runs an 8 week courses as well as smaller classes, group rituals, and more. Natasha lives with her husband, daughter, and many fur babies. 20 fur babies, you think?
Almost.
Almost 20. God bless you. And spends most of her spare time singing in a local metal band called Animus.
Animus.
Animus, running creative direction for Celestial Oddities Radio, and heavily involved in her own practice. She is a priestess for you have to, what's that C word?
Coterie.
Coterie of Arcane Occult Order, a Hekatean Socrceress and dedicated Disciple of Magick. That's a lot. And how do you do it? How do you manage to do all that stuff?
I'm really not sure, to be honest.
Hmm.
Day by day.
Day by day. So
Yeah.
what got you into the occult? What got you in?
I started practicing when I was a teenager.
Hmm.
So I'm 36 now. A high school boyfriend actually gave me a book on Wicca, and the pagan concepts and the Wiccan concepts really resonated with me. I had a lot of background in that growing up,
Hmm.
so it kind of felt like coming home. And over the years, that's definitely changed and kind of moved away from that area to others. But that's where it started anyway.
Okay. And it just seems you have a lot of stuff that's on your plate here. I mean, with all the things that you do, okay, how do you manage the time in between to doing each separate different thing?
So we're open. The shop is open from 12 to 7, Tuesday through Saturday.
Hmm.
So I do a lot of, for my own personal practice, a lot of very early mornings, like 5 a.m. starts there.
Okay.
And as far as the rest of it, it's really just scheduling and juggling,
Okay.
and very patient people in my life.
That's good. That's good, especially your husband, um,
Yes,
and your
he's very
daughter.
supportive.
That you know what that's a real biggie thing. You know what I mean? Because for the longest time, I started ghost hunting a while back, and I,
Hmm.
I, I have retired. And back then, no one supported me. Do you know what I mean? I had to do it all on my own.
Yeah.
And I do wish, okay, that somebody was there to help me out. But I had to go through the growing pains. You know what I mean? And I always I always said that, whoever really wants this, I'll be there for them. Okay. Because no one was there for me. So there was a lot of support in that. Um, so that I understand. It's lucky that you have somebody there to back you up. Plus, from what Tara says, that you have a bunch of good women up there in your shop. Is that correct?
I do, yeah.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I have a wonderful friend, my best friend Brittany. She is very supportive, and she's really helped with the growth of the business over the last year,
Hmm.
and just with keeping my head on straight. So.
Oh, really? It looks pretty straight there. Yeah. Well, is it like? Is it like go like this or?
It's an illusion. It's an illusion.
That's funny. But I do want to get into some of this. First of all, let's talk about your store.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Everything. Whatever you want to
So,
share.
I went to school for criminology and mental health. So, a lot of my work has been in the mental health care system. One of my more recent jobs being with our local crisis and National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
Hmm.
When I was on that Lifeline, I was actually going to school for my master's in clinical counseling. And I ended up leaving the job, but one of the things that I really took away from the job with me was the absolute appalling lack of mental health care
Right.
available to people. And I ended up making the decision to completely drop out of the course of study that I was going for,
Hmm.
and go a different route with it for spiritual counseling and get my certifications in life coaching and all of that. And I always wanted to have a metaphysical shop. I always wanted to share, knowledge of my practice, of the occult, of all of that with people. But the big thing was the mental health aspect. I wanted to bring that into it. And I wanted to make sure that there was a service available to support and validate people that
Hmm.
wasn't going to cost them an arm and a leg, and that was accessible to everyone. And
Okay.
I've managed to do that over the past year. So that's the biggest thing about it.
So,
But other than that, I mean, it's just good old-fashioned witchcraft, and we have lots of courses and rituals and just a ton of stuff going on up there at all times, as you can see is my MO.
yeah. So do you when you deal with somebody who has mental illness, do you throw in the Wiccan part about it? Is there certain areas of the Wiccan religion that you throw in to help people with mental health issues?
So while I started out Wiccan, I haven't been for a good 12 years or so now. My personal practice is a bit different, but the pagan aspect, the witchcraft aspect, all of that, if that is part of their spiritual practice or what they believe, then yeah, absolutely. I have tons of people that come to me for more of a mentorship than a counseling like aspect,
Hmm.
and they still use it as counseling. But if somebody practices Buddhism or Hinduism, or it's whatever their spiritual beliefs are, I
Right.
have plenty of others up there too.
Okay, so that means so we'll say Buddhist, right? Someone is into Buddhism. Do you just go and just do Buddhism with that person?
No,
No?
no, no. If that is what their belief system is, then, which I can't say that I have anybody up there that is a practicing Buddhist. It is mostly people following witchcraft, different witchcraft paths. But yes, basically, it's what their spiritual beliefs are. Like, it's not to ever push mine on somebody else.
Okay.
It just so happens that because I am very open about my practice and open about the fact that I do practice, that seems to be what I draw in as other practitioners.
Okay. And that's pretty interesting. So you just said something about different paths as witchcraft. Can you
Yes.
kind of tell about that, please?
I mean, there's all different paths really. There is like the Wiccan path in that religion, and that was what my, original um uh belief system was routed in. If I were to try to say like where that went to now, it doesn't have a title. I know in the intro it says like Hekatean Socrceress, so I work very closely with the goddess Hekate.
Okay.
A lot of my practice involves her. A lot of the practice that I do in public rituals at the shop involves her. But I mean, it's anything from, I see Luciferians and Satanists and Norse pagans, and I don't know, there's all of them. I think one of the things that people like about the shop and about the way that I look at practices is that it doesn't have to come with some sort of label. It's just these are the ideas that are being, broached to people, and I guess really that there isn't just one path, that it can all blend together.
It usually does, because if you look at the Native American spirituality, that's what when I started to learn how to meditate, I really enjoyed the Native American spirituality, and I read a lot of books on them, and they tell you straight out they might have different names for different things, but it all tends to one person. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's let me. So it's okay if I call you a witch, right?
If you call me a witch,
Can I call you a witch?
you may call me a witch.
Okay, I just want to make sure of that because I don't want to step on no toes. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be proper here. You
No,
know.
that's fine.
So there's a lot of I have friends, and I have other people that ask me, are all witches bad? It seems like that the witches are getting a raw deal from the movies, from what, the Wizard of Oz and stuff like that. Now, are all witches like that? Oh, okay. We got somebody from Tommy Miller. He's a buddy of mine. He says, "Hi, Shawn and Natasha. Is
Hi,
there any
Tommy.
product in your shop that specialize in what?" It sounds like a great place. Oh yeah. Is there any product your shop uh, specializes in?
Any product just in general? Yeah, I am really big on oils. So I do a lot of oils. I have an oil line that is of intention oils, which are like daily wear. They're roll-ons that people can wear. Um, and we range from all different, from mental health to, psychic enhancement to sleeping to shadow work, all different kinds of intention oils. And then I also have a ritual oil line called the Hello Ritual oil line. And that's been very popular. That was a newer addition to the line of products that I offer. But the oils are definitely a big thing. They're close to my heart. They're where I started.
Hmm.
So that I would say that's my specialty.
Now, whenever you make up these oils, when you put them together, do you go through a ritual? As you're putting, do you put your energy into the oils before when you put it in the bottle?
Yes
Okay.
and no.
Okay.
I I do, as I am crafting the oils, and I have a process that I use with them, but I don't go into full-blown ritual with any of the oils, with the exception of one of our newer oils, which is actually called Witch. And that one I do take into ritual with Hekate and bless in that way.
And how long are your rituals?
How long are they?
Yeah, how, I mean, can
They
you have short, long?
Yeah, honestly, it just depends on what I'm doing. An oil, a ritual for an oil like that usually only takes about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, I have other rituals that can last hours.
Oh, I
So
can
that's just not
imagine.
for things at the shop.
Oh, wow. I don't know. God, I mean, spirit bless you, or goddess bless you, or what Conte, bless you, man, because it just seems like you got a lot of stuff going on there. See, um,
I do. It's been a busy year.
oh, I bet. And you know what? It's even going to be busier. Christmas is coming around the corner too. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but no, I respect that. I respect what you do. Um, I had a mod. I have a motto that I used for the PPS was I will respect what you believe. Just please respect what I believe. Okay. And
Absolutely.
there's not a lot of people that respect witches. Okay. And can you set the record straight? Are witches bad?
Hmm. So as I am very well known at the shop for saying I do not believe in bad or good connotations, evil or, you know, good magic. I don't work like that. Magic is magic. It's energy. It's manipulation of energy. The way that you use it is entirely up to you and entirely in your hands. So
Mm-hmm.
none of it is good or bad by nature, and good and bad are man-made human concepts as far as I'm concerned. And
Okay.
also depends on where you're standing as to what they are. So I believe very strongly in balance. I believe that the hands that I am able to heal with, I can also not heal with. Um,
Okay.
so that would be a matter of uh, discretion, I guess.
Okay. So, and I'm glad you said that. My friend Jenny, who co-hosts, is in Chasing Prophecy, the one that comes on before the show. She wants to know about do love spells really work?
Love spells.
Yes.
Ha, okay. So that's obviously I mean, I guess it's not surprising. That's I get asked that a lot, or
Hmm.
asked about them. So this is my opinion on them, I guess, is that an actual love spell, like if you want somebody to actually fall in genuine love with you, it is not going to work unless that is your person. I do believe that, we have our people, our call them your soulmate, call them your twin flame, whatever you would like to call them, but that other counterpart, if that is already, or even people that we may come across in relationships with, um, could even work, but maybe not to the same extent. So when people ask me if a love spell will work, my answer is usually no, it won't. I can make them like you. I can make them obsessed with you. I can, help you to dominate their awareness. But fall in genuine love, no.
Okay. And that sounds understandable. That sounds reasonable. Yeah. She asked me, wanted me to ask you that question about that. Now, whenever I guess you do cast spells, correct?
I do.
Okay. Um, let's see. Aren't you afraid that the spell will come back on you tenfold?
No.
No? How's that? Can you? These are the questions that I hear since, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's some of the same ones that I get. It's I'm I take responsibility for every magical act that I perform, whether it be, um, something that somebody may consider good or something that somebody may consider bad.
Hmm.
I weigh my outcomes and my energy spent and all of that very carefully. Um, I'm not afraid of it coming back on me because I know that when I perform it, it's not, I don't believe in the law of three. Like that's not the way that I work.
Okay.
Energy does balance itself out in universally, right?
Hmm.
So say I were to, um, put a curse or a hex on someone, right? Which, for the record, is not something that I go about doing on a regular basis.
Okay.
But say that I were. So if I wanted to balance that energy, you know, how many loving things is it going to take for me to balance that out? Is it already balanced because of all the energy that I put into the shop, into the mental health and wellness, into that? Like, you know, does that one small bad act get washed away?
Right.
It's just all about balance. It's a balancing act. But I'm never afraid of it coming back on me per se.
Okay. Because I know that, and I guess we can call that karma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that goes like through lifetimes, but yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of karma coming my way. I don't know. If you got a spell for taking the karma away from me, that would be pretty cool. But no,
Actually, I could probably write something up for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see what. Okay, so I'm looking over your bio, and there was some pretty interesting things. So if you see me staring here, I'm looking at the. Okay, now it says here that you do some life coaching and spiritual counseling and mentorship. Can you, you know, intuitive energy work? Can you explain some of that, please?
Yeah, so the life coaching and the counseling, I'm in school right now getting my master's in spiritual counseling from the University of Metaphysical Sciences. But I got the life coaching certificate prior to the shop opening so that I could offer that. And honestly, I mean, I'm not a therapist, and I would hardly say that I'm a counselor. I'm a support system, I guess would be a way of putting it for a lot of people. That would be a way to sum it all up into one. And like I said, I have people that are working through years of trauma, and I have people that are simply coming in because they are trying to learn how to meditate better or want to learn, you know, how to use their energy.
Mm-hmm.
Energetically, magically. Um, and as far as the intuitive energy work, that is a service that I offer that is working with crystals, with sound, with light massage, that I do to help with the chakra energy, to help with if there's any sort of problem areas, or even just a lot of people honestly use it as a form of stress relief. They feel better when they leave.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really have a specific reason for coming in other than that.
Can you explain what you use for light massage?
Not light like lights, like light like gentle touch.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, I understand that. And I think I'm going to come up to Butler, and I'm going to visit Tara, but I'm going to stop off at the shop, man, because, man, I tell you what, I got so much negativity surrounding me, and I'm sure you feel that. But I'm going to check your store out. I think it's pretty interesting what you do. When I'd like to, let's see, here we go, many more. Okay, now we'll get off the subject just a tad so I can, get my questions in my head. Tell
Absolutely.
us about your metal band that you got.
So I have been singing, not always very well in metal bands since I was in my like early 20s. And this band Animus is a group of me and four guys, and we play out locally, surrounding areas. So like we're gonna be in Ohio in 2 weeks from now, I think. But it's honestly, it's stress relief. And, you know, like you said, I have a very full plate.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and now, of course, especially over the past year, while I'm very good at shielding and, you know, keeping my walls up and doing my cleanses and stuff, you can't help but take on some of the energy from that many people.
Right. I was just going to
You
ask
know,
that question.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the metal band is a big thing with that. You know, screaming in my basement with a bunch of dudes really helps take the edge off.
Okay. I can see that. I could see that. Like for me, I was doing the ghost hunting, but I prospect gold. That's what I do, you know. And it makes me, whenever I go to a stream or to a river or something, and I'm panning for gold. I don't care if I get any gold or nothing like that. It just like really relaxes me. Do you know what I mean? And I really enjoy it. And what I like about for me, okay, is that I'm in contact with Mother Earth, you know, nature. What is your aspect? What do you believe in, like going someplace, in the woods and sit down and communicate with the trees and forests and stuff like that? Do you feel more at ease in your shop, or would you feel more at ease, in the woods?
Sorry, it was like I didn't hear that last part. What was that?
Oh, okay. Do you feel more at ease in your shop, or would you feel more at ease out in the woods?
Oh, definitely out in the woods. I'm very at peace in my shop and I love my space.
Hmm.
But there's something about being in nature, like you said, it rejuvenates you.
Hmm. Do you know trees cry?
Sorry, the mic's coming in a little bit weird on my end. What was that?
Do you know that trees cry?
Why they cry?
No, they do. They do. They do cry.
Really?
Yeah. Let's share a real quick story. I was at a park here. I was doing some meditating under a tree, and it was a nice night day out, no rain, no nothing, and all of a sudden I was in meditation and I felt raindrops, water coming down on my arm here, and I came out of the meditation and I was like, it ain't raining. What the hell's going on? You know what I mean? And I went around to the different trees and nothing was happening. But when I sat under this tree, it was actually, raindrops coming down, or teardrops, I call them. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then I don't know. I'm just excited that you're on here, and
Oh,
that
well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm excited to
yeah,
be here.
good. And so back to, you know, or and I do want to bring that question up again, but you hear out there are white witches and black witches. Okay, is there a difference?
Um, yes. Yeah, I would say that there is.
Can you explain, please?
Yeah, black witches aren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
Hmm. I can see where you're going with that one. Tommy Tommy Miller has a question. What
Sure.
are your opinions on past lives and spirit guides?
So I absolutely think that we have past lives. I can't tell you what mine are, just that they have been being made clear as time goes by. Um, Spirit guides. I work with a lot of entities, a lot of spirits. My personal spirit guides um, are not making it very easy on me. I actually just
I know what you mean. I know what
yeah,
you mean.
they're not really, I got a lot of triangles the last time I did a channeling session. A friend of mine, Daniel James, did a channeling session with me a couple weeks ago to try to walk me into a meditation to speak to my spirit guides and stuff.
Hmm.
And he did very well with me because I'm not really an easy one to walk in there. But instead of spirit guides, I ended up at my grandma's house, my deceased grandma's house. So I
Okay.
didn't get to meet them, but maybe next time.
That, isn't it amazing, because when some meditations that I do, I don't know where I'm going to go. Like the one
Yeah.
that I do and I help people with, and I do it for myself almost every night, is that, I'll go in my meditation and then I go to my meadow, okay, with a tree line of trees. and there's a big rock in the middle of the meadow, and I go over there and I sit on the rock, and there's any type of bird for me that day would come down, and I get on the back and I take off and I go wherever the bird takes me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like really, really cool. You know what I mean? I enjoy it. It does put me to sleep, but it is crazy through my meditations though. I think when I go into one, right, it's going to be a healthy one. It's going to be a happy one, but you know what? It don't work all that time. It don't.
No,
It
definitely.
shows me some bad stuff. You know what I mean?
I
And
do.
yeah, okay, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength here. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I would say maybe it's what you need to see, even if it
Hmm.
doesn't feel good.
But no, you know what? That's true. But it's like we see it, but do we act on what we need to do not to see that? Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
Absolutely.
okay, I'm coming back from a freaking meditation and it showed me, how mean and nasty I am. And, I fall asleep, wake up, and I'm still the same person. You know what I mean? It's just,
Right.
um, that's how, that's what happens to me a lot. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I love my meditation though. And there's a couple other ones that I do too, um, that I help people through. I walk them through it, get
Hmm.
them to it. So I've done a couple here on the show here, but
Oh, it's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, no, 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 no. Okay, what is okay? Um, After Animus, he had running creative direction for Celestial Oddities Radio. Care to share on that?
Yeah, so Celestial Oddities Radio is an umbrella for three different podcasts. Um, they are run by Frater Crow, who is and mentor of mine, and the one is Celestial Oddities Paranormal Guys, the Pong, which is Frater, and then Daniel James, who I mentioned earlier. They do that together, and that's a lot of paranormal. Cryptids and ghosts. And the last episode was about Krampus. So that was
Oh,
my
cool.
favorite, although they told me that Krampus wasn't real. So they kind of broke my heart with that one.
You know
Um,
what? The hell with them. Krampus is real.
no,
You know,
there's real nature spirits
yes.
that
That's
run
my
along
next
with that.
question.
But
We're on the same wavelength there.
yeah,
What
but I
is
wanted the horror movie Krampus. And then Frater does Knights of the Nephilim, which is an occult, esoteric, just really, they have a lot of great authors and practitioners and different people on that show. And then Uncovering the Underground, which is a lot of music and authors and artists and models and different stuff like that.
okay?
So I run creative direction for that. So basically, that's just a fancy way of saying I help them with marketing and scheduling and
Oh,
reaching
that's
out to
great.
guests and that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of glad about that, 'cause I'm like Celestial Oddities Radio. That was pretty interesting. Hopefully, we can get you on this program here, not this program, but on this radio station. That would be great.
We'll see.
But okay, now here's the one that I'm kind of not confused, but a priestess for the Coterie.
Coterie of Samil, Arcane Occult Order.
Yes, please. That's the one I'm interested in.
So that one, I'm not gonna say too much on, to be honest.
Okay, good.
It is an occult order, obviously, and it is right now a little bit more on the private end,
Hmm.
but it is a collection of different understandings and teachings,
Okay. I know where
projected
you're
in a
going
certain
with
way.
it. I know where you're going with it. So out of respect for you, we can drop that really quick. You know what I mean? And that's not a problem. And Hekatean,
Hekatean.
yeah, yeah. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, Hekatean Socrceress. So
Yeah.
that basically just means that, like I said earlier, I work very heavily with the goddess Hekate. She is part of my main practice, belief system, however you would like to look at it. But I work with her on a daily basis.
Yeah, I've asked because I have a lot of witchy friends, you know, and I ask them, like, won't you ask her, throw some juice around me, because I don't know what was crazy for me when I was starting PPS was it just seemed like spirit was taking me from teacher to teacher to teacher to teacher. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't my calling. I wasn't going out looking for it. It was like they dropped in my lap, in order to teach. And I really got into the goddesses. Do you do anything with the goddesses?
As far as goddesses go, I work mainly with Hekate. When it comes to other entities, I am more on the daemon side.
Okay.
So I work with like Lilith. I personally would not call Lilith a goddess. I would definitely call her a daemon.
Okay.
But many would call her a goddess. And yeah, that's the amount of feminine influence in my practice. Hekate
Okay.
and Lilith are the two big ones.
Okay. So basically, you got the balances out, just like you were saying about the energies.
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. That's cool. That's all right. Wait. Uh, Northwest Paranormal Research Group. Been trying to get you for the last week or two. They have two questions. Okay, dreams and what they mean. He's wondering when you're dreaming of something.
So my personal belief is that dreams can mean a lot of different things. When you're dreaming, you're in that liminal space, so you're between spaces. Your dreams can be a reflection of, conscious things that you experience throughout the day that maybe your brain either just remembered or couldn't wrap itself around, and you need to process it in a subconscious or unconscious way. Your dreams can be subconscious or unconscious thoughts, shadows that you're not able to process consciously, and it's trying to come up through your dreams so that you recognize it and understand it and pay attention. Your dreams can be your spirit guides, your ancestors, your loved ones, your entities that you work with. Like when you're in that space, they're able to slip through a little easier to communicate with you. Dreams for me come down a lot to the symbology of it, like the things that you see, because it's not always going to be like outright messages. So it's about kind of, writing it down. Writing it down when you wake up is very important because I don't do that.
Me neither.
Yeah, dude, that's a do as I say, not as I do thing that I tell people, because like you should be and I should be. But I'm just terrible about it. I don't like being woken up. So, um, as far as what they mean, I mean, there are plenty of times that your dreams can have no higher meaning, no higher like purpose, or whatever. And then as I have experienced, there are times that your dreams have an incredibly higher purpose and change your life. So
Okay, he comes back. So, Northwest says premonition in dreams. Can it happen?
yeah, absolutely.
So
100%.
how many?
It's not always going to be premonition,
Right.
and don't get paranoid thinking that it like, oh my gosh, like this horrible thing happened in my dream, so that has to be a premonition. But that's something where it's really good to be in touch with, your higher self and your intuition, and like to be able to recognize the difference between, am I having these dreams that are repeating dreams of premonition, or was this just a one hit type thing?
Okay. I hope she answered that correctly for you. What you needed to hear. I mean, she knows her stuff. She's good. To the Terra, do you have a specific deck that you like to read from?
Yeah,
If that's
I
too
have.
personal, don't have to.
No, That's okay. I'm a pretty open book for the most part. I have it's called I think it's called the Black Tarot. It's this really, really interesting artwork that I use with Hekate. That's my deck for her specifically. As far as like at the shop, I use a lot of different decks. I've been really attached to the Marigold Tarot lately. And I just got, actually, I can even show you because it's here. I just got this, the Shadow Tarot by Linda Filorio, and it is an incredible, just really gorgeous deck that deals with the clip off and some of the basically the underside of the Kabbalistic tree. So and I don't know it well yet. I'm reading through it. It's very complex.
Okay. Tommy has a question for you.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on people's energy being contagious? Sometimes I can feel either positive or negative energy when entering a room.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our human beings, we mirror each other's energy a lot, even without meaning to. If you enter a room and it is filled with like, say somebody just had like a horrible argument, or like there's been a confrontation of some sort, and you enter the room, it would not be surprising at all that like you feel that energy. In the same sentence, if you enter a room and nothing's happening, but you are very empathic, or you pick up on others' energy easily, it's it's very common for me to enter a room and be uncomfortable, but not have any like outward sign as to why. And one of the energies in the room just is not matching mine. So we absolutely affect each other's energy. My 8-week course that I was doing on intuitive witchcraft just finished, and that was one of the biggest things, was the way that we influence each other's energy, and how to be aware of what's your energy versus what is somebody else's energy, and keep that separate. That's like one of the best ways to explain it, I guess, is like, say you get up in the morning, like my husband and I, say we both get up in the morning and he's having like a really bad morning, right? And he's mad at the coffee pot and just stomping around, and you can just tell that like he's in a bad mood. That energy, if I let it, can easily affect me and then influence the way that my energy flows throughout the rest of the day. So we get affected by other people's energy much more often than I think we even consciously realize. So learning to pay attention to your intuition and to understand how your own energy works then can help you stay a lot more balanced and fluid in your life when you're not being weighed down by everybody else.
I hope that helped you out, Tommy. Now, Northwest Paranormal will come back and he says, I got to scroll up here a little bit for, he wanted us to share this. He says, I see a death of a person that happened, a person that showed up in a newspaper a week later. I was young at the time and woke up with a cold sweat. Share if you want. No joke, been bothering me for a long time.
Yeah, so that's it's very possible that was a premonition. I know I have some close friends that do that. Like they know when someone's going to pass or when that's going to happen. So it's definitely a possibility. And don't let it be something that bothers you or holds weight on you, because it's not on you. Do you know what I mean? Like it was you, for whatever reason, were able to see that it was coming, but it doesn't mean that was on any way like on you.
Right. I hope that helped you out there, Mr. Northwest Paranormal Research Group. They're good people, man. They really are. They're out there out west, out there in Washington State, I do believe. But,
it's awesome.
Yeah. Tommy Miller says, I definitely need to check out your shop sometime. Is there an Instagram or Facebook page we can check out?
Yes, I am on both Instagram and Facebook. It's under Lil Shop of Lilith. And we have a TikTok too.
Yeah, you have some good TikToks, man. Yeah, I will do one of your TikToks.
That's my personal one. We don't need to send them there.
Nah, we don't. So you believe in the little people, huh?
The Fae?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't want to talk about the Fae.
You don't. Is that bad or good?
Um, so I just personally, it's not an entity that I work with, but it's
Right.
been a running joke just at the shop because I work with many entities that other people would sometimes shy away from. But
Mhm.
meanwhile, the Fae, I'm like, nope, no, thank you. Um, I blame that on like Goosebump books from when I was little. But um, we we had an exam for the class, and one of the questions was, "Do we f with the Fae?" And it was a yes or no question, and if you said yes, you better give me a good reason why. So
Nah, you just don't want to mess with them, you know. I've been doing
it's not my personal cup of tea.
no,
No.
no, 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 no. Okay. Well, he'll tell you. Okay, I will definitely do that, buddy. Okay, I'll definitely do it. But remember, it'll be 11 o'clock my time, and you know, so it'll be kind of like maybe tomorrow. He was asking me to tell me the whole story. But yeah, there's some phase you just don't want to mess with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I respect that I don't know enough about them. So
They are pretty interesting people. How about leprechauns?
I have
Gnomes?
never come across a leprechaun.
No, me neither. But I know they're there.
I would believe that they're there. Yes, there's very little that I don't believe is out there.
Right, and it's crazy too, because when, like I said, when I go gold prospect, especially in North Carolina, okay, there is some creepy stuff that goes on in the woods down there. You know what I
I
mean?
believe it.
You know, and it's just not like the banjo situation either. It's just, it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm there, and I just have all these eyes that are upon me. You know what I mean? And then, um, can I tell you what animal I see behind you? Maybe it might just like help you out a little bit. Maybe I
Sure,
see I
absolutely.
I see a wolf. You're
That
part
doesn't
of the
surprise me.
yeah. You have a big ass wolf that just like protects you.
Oh, I
Believe
love
it or
that. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm serious. I mean, he's big and he's bad and he kicks butt, and you don't realize it, but he likes to hang back in the shadows a wee bit. You know what I mean? He got your perimeter. You know what I mean? So I just
I
wanted.
really love that.
You're welcome. I'm
Thank
just
you.
sharing what you know. Like you say, you read tarot. I've done some readings myself, and I started out with the tarot. What's the wolf mean? It's the teacher, buddy. They're teachers, and they
Hmm.
also protect you.
Interesting.
Yes, they're teachers, and but I started off with tarot, and then all of a sudden I was in the store. Spiritual animal, yeah, buddy. That's definitely that's what they are. Spiritual animal. There's no real wolf being. Would be dead. Would be dead. Be eaten up. But so I was in the bookstore, and this tarot deck came. Well, it's I don't know. I wouldn't even consider it a tarot, but it's the animal medicine cards. And
Yeah.
yes, and I would read them, and and to me, when I read for my people, you know, my clients and stuff like that, I would use those. But what's crazy, you know, there's no past, future, you know, whatever. The now and the future, what's going to happen down the road. It just seems like when I read somebody that it's at the moment that they're going through. So it is pretty crazy, but it makes a lot of people more comfortable, you know. And I couldn't memorize all them damn definitions of them.
It's definitely a pain in the ass. There's a lot
Yeah,
to it.
yes, there is. So we got a couple minutes here left. Is there anything that you want to share with my listeners? Any inspiration quotes or
um I'm not exactly inspiring. You would think that I should be with what I've been doing,
why
but
did you say that? Why would you even say that?
well, like
Why?
quote wise.
Why? So what?
I'm honest, to be honest, I'm like focusing on behind me trying to see my wolf, but I know that
Okay.
I won't because it's not a gift of mine, but I really enjoyed hearing that. So thank you very much for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Um,
Not a problem. He'll come in and he'll nip you in the butt. He will. Trust me, they do.
I believe that.
They do.
Um,
Trust me.
I think for me, like one of the things that we talk about with the different classes and people that I work with and stuff is that a lot of it, two things. So a lot of it feels familiar, right? Like when I read that book, that first like pagan book, I was like, oh, like this is home. Like I'm starting to come home. And I think that it's important to realize and keep in mind that if these things are hitting, if they are familiar, if you are drawn, if you are feeling like, this is home, it's because you're starting to remember. It's not that you're learning the things, you're
Hmm.
you're remembering things that you've already learned, and you're just remembering them a little bit faster this time, maybe. um and the other thing is that I guess a lot of times when you start, especially like the people that I have in the longer classes and courses and stuff, when you start down this path and you start, um, really diving deeper and seeing things in different ways and thinking about things differently, it can make what once was like your comfortable regular life seem
Hmm.
very outside, and you don't feel like you quite fit anymore.
Right.
And that can be very scary and very
Hmm.
lonely for a lot of people. And I like to try to remind people, that they're not alone, because the other people, that come in here are coming in and saying the same thing. Like,
Right.
so a lot of people are feeling that way. Um, and that seems to help sometimes.
Oh,
It brought a spirit to our shop, so.
I'm, I'm really enjoying this. I am.
Well, thank you. Me too.
Give yourself a bunch of credit, girl. I mean, my God, you didn't work hard for nothing. You know what I mean? You know,
Well,
you
thank
did.
you. I still have a long ways to go.
You'll get there. Now, Tommy has one more question, and we're going to have to get going here. Any thoughts on familiars, and are they real?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that they are. Um, uh, I guess that it depends on what terms or concepts you're looking at them in. If you're talking like animal familiars, like the cat that you found at like just the right moment or whatever, I definitely think that that's a possibility. I also think that you can uh, kind of like the way my wolf back there, or
Hmm.
the you can ask, like I do a lot of demonic work, and you can ask for demonic familiars, and um so familiars is a broad category, I guess, is what I'm saying, but
Okay.
yes, I absolutely believe that they exist in many different forms.
And I hope I have you back on the show if you'd like to come back. And I would like to talk a little bit about demons because it's like a voodoo word, for people. And I'd like to get your concept, what you think about it. And I mean, you look at it, it's the 21st century, so people are more open to, stuff like that. And
Hmm.
if you're willing, to come back on the show maybe next month or something like that, that would be pretty cool if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we can talk about that. But well, everybody, hold on, don't leave because we have to talk
Okay.
afterwards. Um, everybody, thank you for coming in and listening to the show tonight. Thank you, Natasha, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh yes, definitely. Um, now, as Natasha was talking about the mental illness, I definitely have mental illness, um, and I do. I don't take my medicine no more, but I do meditate and stuff like that. But I need you guys to know that I have your back. I may never see you, I may never meet you, but you can guarantee for sure that I got your back. So, if you're having a little problem over especially the holidays, they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
But if you're hurting, talk to somebody. You know what I mean? and just talk. If you can't talk, just sit with them. Just sit, hold their hand. You don't have to talk. Um, have a coffee or whatever. But if you're really, really, really hurting, please contact the hotline. Contact Natasha's store. Because there's people out there that need help, and this isn't a good time of the year, for people um, who does have some mental illness. But again, Natasha, thank you for
You're
being
so
here.
welcome. Thank you.
Um, Parents, please go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them.
Please.
And children, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them, because those three words, I love you, go a far way. And on that, good night. See you next week, and happy hunting.
Bye.